Second story of the day is about the new Lil Dicky song. It's called Earth. It's featuring Ariana Grande. I mean, pretty much every pop star, rap star, Leonardo DiCaprio. Who's not in the song? And they got 50 people. It looks like Madagascar. They got like Pixar designers. I don't know if really Pixar, but it's like high level stuff, high budget stuff. They brought out the woodworks. They got everybody. They brought the kitchen sink out. I never really understood that metaphor. They brought the kitchen sink out. Like, how do you bring the kitchen sink out? Anyway, never got it. Maybe it's a sports reference or something. Anyway, I like Lil Dicky. I'm going to start off positive. He's a good rapper. What's always been good about him is he just makes jokes and he's funny, but also he's very real. He's always saying goofy stuff, but everyone's like, that's real, Lil Dicky, that's real. Like Save That Money. He did a song with Fetty Wap where he's like, I'm going to save that money. He made a rap song, but instead of about wasting money like other rappers, Lil Dicky's actually smart, and he's like, I'm going to save my money because you guys blow your advance and now you're poor and in jail or whatever. It's like, and that I'm not being mean. It's like the amount of rappers that have been going to jail recently and getting arrested is astounding. I'm not saying this to be mean or judgmental. It's like, guys, stop wasting your money on $50,000 Gucci belts, and you're like, I don't know, and stop getting arrested. But anyway, Lil Dicky's always been real. I heard the story. I don't know if this is true. They said that he got they were like, you don't make music that matters enough. So Lil Dicky's like, yeah, I'm going to do the Earth song. I don't know if that's true or not. You know, I don't really care. I'm not TMZ, but let's get into it. So the song is called Earth, and it's a climate change song. It's all about climate change. I took notes. I watched the video, and there's a ridiculous amount of exaggerations, hypocrisy, and what I would consider propaganda. You can feel what you think, but listen to what I'm saying, and we'll go through. So at the beginning, very beginning, it starts with wildfires in California. It says, wildfires, look at the it's getting really hot in Burbank. Whoa, Lil Dicky, it's hot in Burbank. You better take off your shirt. Better get a no sleever like me. Anyway, with the wildfires, I did a whole video. Before the wildfires happened, New York Times put out an article and said there's going to be wildfires because they're not managing the forest. So this is what liberals do. They talk, do nothing, and then lie about it. It's awful. I'm not saying I know why the fire started, but in New York Times, they said there's all these logs. They're all laying down. It's like if you have a fire and you have a little kindling or whatever it's called. You put the little sticks down, they catch fire. Dead wood catches quickly, very quickly. So in the past, we've always cleaned that up in the forest, and even New York Times admitted over the last couple of years, they passed some fake environmental bill, probably by people listening to Lil Dicky. They're like, yeah, Earth, yeah, let's leave a bunch of dead wood in the forest, yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio, yeah, let's not clean up the forest so it catches on fire for swag. Anyway, probably banging that song, and they did that to the forest, and even New York Times is like, guys, this is going to lead to a catastrophe. And then it led to a catastrophe, and then they wrote the exact opposite. I even caught the same writer within a week saying the two different things. They're like, it's racism, it's climate change, it's the climate changing is the reason that the fires caught fire, because listen guys, it makes total sense because the climate's gonna go up 0.1%, and that's gonna make the sea levels rise, and somehow I'm such a psychopath that I'm going to pretend like somehow the percentage of the planetary temperature going up a percentage is going to cause crazy fires. I get the philosophy of, all right, if our percentage goes up 2 or 5% or 10% or 5 degrees, that yeah, if it starts melting the ocean, I get that. But how in the world would climate change, raising a very small amount, create more fires? Like that's so, it's the wind. If it's cold, it's global cooling. If it's warm, it's global winding. If it goes up a percent, there's going to be fire. When it gets 100 degrees, it's not like fires just start ravishing everywhere. I get it when it's hotter. Sometimes fires happen, but anyway, they didn't manage the forest, and they're trying to blame it on climate change. That was the first thing. I'm like, dude, get over yourself. But second part, I did a whole little list of this stuff. And look at my videos, California wildfires, because I got the same journalists saying, it's this, it's that, it's this. I got professionals talking about mismanagement. And then after it happens, the same journalists are like, it's the climate. They're just so goofy. It started off as well. After that part, they showed Lil Dicky and these kids knocked over a trash can. And I'm glad that they did that. Well, I'm not glad that they do that. That is life in Los Angeles and major cities. But I'm glad that they're putting this in, because it has, first of all, it has nothing to do with climate change, trash, but also there is a lot of trash in Los Angeles. I mean, the whole city is basically just becoming trashed, and I'm not hating on it. There's a lot of trees. It's beautiful in many areas, but let's be honest. Homelessness is everywhere. Trash is everywhere. Lil Dicky, bro, and every celebrity in this song that lives in Los Angeles. Our city is disgusting. Homelessness is at record levels. Poverty is higher than anywhere else in the United States. Even though you guys pay the most taxes, you give the government your money and they squander it and then steal more money from you, unless you have a good tax guy. And yes, the city is trash, but what in the world does trash have to do with climate change? You're like, someone knocked over a trash can and that's really changing the way. No, I'm glad you brought it up. And that's why we never get to this. Clean the damn city. Look at Las Vegas. You go to Las Vegas, the Strip is beautiful. Like, they clean the Strip. How do they do that? It's not with Leonardo DiCaprio. You don't need 50 NASA engineers to tell you how to clean a damn city. They just came to the conclusion, we're going to keep Las Vegas Strip clean because that would be nice. And they're like, okay, let's do it. And then now when you go to Las Vegas, I was amazed when I went to Vegas. I was like, it's spotless here. You go to Hollywood Boulevard, you go to downtown Los Angeles, and it's disgusting. Like, they have absolutely no pride in their own city. People just come, they're like, oh, I'm going to go to the boulevard and look at the stars. And it's like poop everywhere. It's like, clean the damn boulevard. It's not that hard to do. Why don't you, Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber, you know, as a three-dimensional baboon, go clean our own damn city? Stop worrying about the whole climate. Change yourself to change the world. Change your city to change the planet. How are you going to clean up the planet when you live in the most disgusting city in the United States with the worst pollution? Look at the air map. Go to the air government map. It's like green, 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 green. Warning, warning, warning. And you guys are like, you're like, we're going to save, we're the environmental leaders of the planet. You don't even clean your own damn city. So thank you for talking about trash being tipped over. One, it has nothing to do with climate change. Two, it never gets solved because you guys are running around chasing ghosts. You're like, Al Gore told me that the whole polar ice caps are gonna melt. I'm gonna get into that later. It never happens because it was never true to begin with, and it's a distraction to keep you from the pharmacy industry, the health industry, the fact that cookware that everyone's using is causing diseases. I mean, look into the science, the settled science of what it's like when you have plastic bottles and they stand in the heat for a while and then you drink it. That's settled science that they don't want to talk about. There's science of health, there's science of diet, there's science of heart disease in America, there's science of our disgusting food industry, and there's very settled science about the opioid crisis of 5% of the population, us, consuming 80% of the opioid pills, and the biggest killers of humans and as far as drugs in our country comes from pharmacy drugs that they give you legally. So there is health and environmental issues going on. They use this low IQ stuff to be like, I don't mean to hate, because I'm no Albert Einstein or anything, but I bought into it when I was younger too. I was like, I want to save the planet, I want to save the ocean, I want to be like Lil Dicky, you know, I'm going to do it too. But then I realized it's all a lie. And then you look at one lie, the matrix shatters, and you're like, it's laughable. And I'm going to get into more stuff later. I'll just get into it now. I don't want to waste people's time. If you're watching on YouTube, I get it. You don't have an attention span. You might already be tired of me, or you might be thinking I'm funny. Either way, it is what it is. What's up, bro? Welcome to the simulation. I'm on my couch. You're watching me in your house. Crazy. June 29th, 1982. UN predicts disaster. The reason I'm saying this too, I guess I got a little ahead of myself. Lil Dicky at the end, he said scientists are saying we have 12 years to live. At the end, he's like, guys, I'm Lil Dicky. I'm cool and relatable. We might only have 12 years to live. Go to this website. Oh my God, it's going to die. Is this the first time that they've ever predicted this? Lil Dicky, you probably don't know this, or I don't know, maybe you're smoking weed, eating pizza or something. You never got into the science, but hopefully you watch this and consider it. I know you're a smart, good guy. June 29th, 1982. UN predicts disaster if global warming not checked. This is out of Associated Press, AP. Senior environmental officials predicted rising sea levels and entire nations being wiped out off the face of the earth by the year 2000. That was before I was born. Only problem was, actually I think it was 1989, not 1982. Anyway, it never happened because it was never true and the news lied to you. So that was in the 1980s saying, planetary shifts and climate changing, and senior environmental officials and the settled science says that rising sea levels are gonna wipe nations off the earth, and it never happened because they were all liars, and the UN is full of total propagandists who want to take over Europe, and they're successfully doing it, and they want to take over the United States too and add taxes and all these sort of weird, creepy refugee laws that don't help not only the countries where people came from, but our countries. Anyway, let's get into earlier, because I remember Al Gore. I was a big environmentalist when I was younger. I went to see Al Gore's little goofy movie. It was like Unfortunate Truth or something, or you know what I'm talking about. Inconvenient Truth. I was like, whoa, I'm woke, I'm deep, I'm going to go to the little movie theater and watch Inconvenient Truth because I want to save the planet, and all my friends are just stupid. They don't care about anything. They got me. They snatched me up like a little kid when I was younger, like Avatar. I was running off the cliff, and they were like, come here. I get it. So Al Gore said that from 2007 to 2009, he made a very bold prediction, I believe, for like 2013 or so. He said that the ice caps were going to be completely melted. Wow. It sounds like Lil Dicky. He says, in 12 years, the scientists predict that everyone's going to die if you don't buy my album and listen to Ariana Grande. Who gets scientific advice from Ariana Grande dressed as like a koala bear? Like, it's so goofy. But Al Gore made these same predictions in the 2000s, and it was not true. Not only did the ice caps not melt, but even NASA admitted in the year 2015, I believe, check it, look it out, the ice caps certain years are melting. And even NASA admitted in the last 3 months, the mitigation is happening, which means it's slowing down. There's more snowfall than there is snow loss, and they can't figure out why. They're like, we've been lying so much, but it's not true. We lied about Trump, and we said there was a 99% chance he would lose, and he won. And we lied about climate change since the 1960s, and it just keeps growing. What's going on? It's supposed to be melting by now. It's like, you're lying, and the Earth doesn't give a single F-U-C-K what your scientists say. There's volcanoes that don't give a crap what you say. The sun certainly doesn't give a crap what you say. The ocean doesn't give a crap what you say. And the planet doesn't give a crap what you say. The volcano doesn't say, well, I was going to erupt and destroy the entire island of Hawaii and put more CO2 in the air than all the cars on the island, but I was watching the new Bill Nye episode, and Neil deGrasse Tyson really made a good point, so I'm just not going to erupt now. The sun isn't like, you know what, I wasn't going to send this solar flare out that could literally crush humanity in a second, but I watched Cosmos, and I got to tell you, I think Neil deGrasse's doing a really good job bringing back the show. Sorry, that's not how Earth works, no matter how many Bill Nye, the Democratic Party spy guys there are, running around in Austin, Texas, like, hey guys, South by Southwest, do you like science? Yeah! Who likes science? Me! We're all gonna die! Ah, that sucks. Yeah, sorry guys, I get paid to be here. Alright, we get it. They're all liars. Let's move back to the video. Point I'm getting to is, not only have there been false predictions of polar ice caps being melted, sea levels rising, it's all been said for 40 years. It's not only not happening, but NASA in 2019 admits on their website, I post it all the time, pretty much every week on my Twitter, they don't know how much snow's falling because they only measure the outskirts of Antarctica, which obviously it's melting. It's like, which part of the ice is going to melt? The inside where it's the coldest, or the outside where it's next to the ocean where it's warmer water? I mean, you have ice and let's do a little experiment. What happens when you put ice in water? The ice starts to shrink, and it starts from the outsides. Well, on Antarctica, NASA, what do you think? If you only measure the outskirts, and you only measure the outskirts of the, and it seems to be melting, and there's, of course it's going to melt, dummies. Just, is it going to stand still? You think the ocean doesn't flow and it doesn't get colder? And I mean, let's think of climate change in California or in New Jersey or in Texas. Well, we have summer, and the climate's very hot, and then we have winter, and the climate gets colder. The climate changes because that's what Earth does. It's rotating, according to reports. That's for NASA to decide, but it's rotating, it's flowing. That's what Earth does. But according to Bill Nye, it's a tragedy. And also, I want to say too, there's a Twitchy article. Maybe I'll post it later. They did this big Netflix documentary recently where they showed walruses or sea lions or some goofy animal falling off a cliff. And they were like, climate change is forcing this animal off a cliff. Well, actually, liberal environmentalists, not conservatives, did research, and they found out that the reason that the walrus, or why they think it went off, is because they had a film crew and they had drones. And they scared the shit out of the walrus, and it jumped off the ocean because they thought that there's crazy They were like, is the climate melting? Well, we're going to send 50 drones and 10,000 humans running. They're like, it's going to melt. The walruses are dying. And the walruses are like, fuck. They're like, let's get the fuck out of here. And they jump off the cliff, and they're like, got it. Climate change. These people are psychos. But anyway, yeah, that happened, and they just figured that out. So the big propaganda Netflix documentary, spoiler alert, it's actually liberals killing the sea lions, according to these reports. Back to the video. They showed at one point a lion eating a zebra. So it was like a funny song. It's like, I'm a zebra. Ha, look at my stripes. I'm Ariana Grande. Go come to my concerts. And then like a lion falls on a zebra and eats the zebra. And the reason I want to talk about this, it seems not, but this is why I was at a restaurant one time by myself, and I heard the funniest, realest conversation ever. And it's placed in a line with what I'm talking about with the lions and zebras. So the woman was talking about eating vegan, and the guy said to her, he said, I eat meat. He said, even if I stopped eating meat and all humans stopped eating meat, every animal on the planet, pretty much, there's very few who don't, kill other animals to survive. So if you want to stop animals from dying, I agree. Factory farming is disgusting. The food industry is gross. I agree. I don't want to kill things. Like if a spider is in the house and it doesn't seem too deadly, I'm like, here you go, little guy. Go out there, eat some bugs. You know, I like to let them live. But even if, like, that's just like human privilege. Like you put on like spectacles and I only eat vegan and I'm helping the world from animal destruction. It's like they're out killing each other in nature all the time. Yes, you're going to save a few like GMO cows that are like genetically modified and fat and disgusting. Yeah, you're going to save their lives, and definitely it's a good thing, but you can't stop the animals from killing each other. So I wanted to highlight that part. I liked how they showed the lion eating the zebra. It's very accurate. Animals kill each other all the time. I can't wait till 2050. No, it's okay if you're vegan. It's all good. It could be healthier too. I'm not a health expert. I'm just saying you're not going to stop animals from killing each other. It's just true. I can't wait till 2050 where you have vegans where they start trying to get other animals to stop killing each other. Like they go out to Africa and try to get the lions to eat plants. I'm excited for those years. That's going to be fun. That's like the patriarchy and intersectional like condomism or whatever you call it. Communism, condomism. I purposely said condomism, but then I realized it sounded like communism. Anyway, I can't wait for that year because they're running out of things to do. They're like, my life is so good that I'm going to complain for my iPhone about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because I think there's racist microaggressions. No, you imbeciles. It's a story of a reindeer who's an outcast with a goofy nose who ends up being the hero because his goofy nose is actually better. So when you're younger and you're like, oh, my imperfection, I'm the hero. Like, that's what I was like, oh, even if you're ugly or you're the outcast or you're the oddball or you're the one who doesn't fit in school, you can be the hero at the end. That's the story. There's no racism. There's no sexism. There's no xenophobia. There's no microaggressions. It's the outcast reindeer becoming the hero because his nose lights up, you total morons. Why did I lose my job at Huffington Post and BuzzFeed? I can't figure out why that our magazines are down 30%. Who doesn't want to read stories about Rudolph the Red? These kids are awful. Please raise your kids right so they don't grow up like this. The propaganda Lil Dicky video also had coral reef, which is awesome because I do agree we should save the coral reefs. I was in Hawaii, and a lot of the coral reefs, a lot of the locals say that the reason that the coral reefs are dying is because of the chemicals in what's it called? Suntan lotion. There's awful chemicals that are probably not even good for your body, but they're getting all over and they're killing all the coral. Some people say it's climate change too, but it's hard to believe them because it's like little boy who cried wolf. I would believe you if you're like, hey, the oceans are going up 1% and the coral's gonna die. I wouldn't disagree with that, but if you're like, well, climate change is racist and the ice caps are going to melt and it's the coral reef, now I don't believe anything you say. So it's like, that's why lying isn't a good idea, because I don't know why the reefs, but I'll tell you what, my section of this is another example of Earth for Lil Dicky and all these celebrities. So I go to Hawaii sometimes, and I went last year, and the most beautiful coral reef on the island, I'm sad to tell you what happened to it, but it was beautiful. It was vibrant. I got to snorkel and see the coral reef like a week before it disappeared completely. And the reason that it disappeared is something that Bill Nye, the Democratic Party spy guy, Neil, the climate change is real, give me your money, Tyson, and all these scientists, settled sciencers, will never tell you. They never want to talk about these aspects of Earth, a volcano. So they probably could have done all this stuff for it, and it ended up being a volcano erupting and destroying one of the most beautiful coral reefs on the island. The reason I bring that up is because there's 3 elements, among others, of the Earth that we can't change. Volcanoes are out of our control, as far as I know, unless George Soros or the Rothschilds have a little button where they push or something. Volcanoes, we can't control. The ocean takes up the entire planet. We have no idea what's going on. 90% of it or so is unexplored, and it takes up most of our planet. Do the math. That means most of our planet's unexplored. And the sun, you can't do climate. It's like doing a scientific experiment. Let's go back to 3rd grade. Okay, you have water, and the water's boiling, and the reason that the water's boiling is because there's a huge light source that's pushing heat onto it. So imagine if in the boiling pot of water, you had a bunch of little losers on CNN saying, we control the planet, we control it, we control the heat, no one else does, it's all our fault, and there's nothing we can do, we're all gonna die. It doesn't make sense because anyone knows, even a 1st grader, that in that scientific experiment, it's not the low energy, the 8 billion little losers sitting there, la, 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 la. It's the light source, it's the heat source that is the main factor to why it heats or gets colder. Ice age, you get it. Let's take that little baby steps for Shil Nye, the Democratic Party spy guy. We need to do baby steps. Now let's take that experiment to big boy land. Let's take it to the dome. Let's take it to the globe. We'll take it to the rotating globe with the moon that we totally went to, even though we haven't been back since 1969 because the technology used to be better, but we lost the technology. Everything else just accelerated. You got cell phones, computers, handheld devices, but only moon technology went backwards, and there's no way to go back again. But we're going to get an intersectional female woman to the moon, totally. Oh, now I believe it because there's a woman on the moon. They're like, guys, we had to cancel it. This is a real story. They said we don't have spacesuits to fit the women. Guys, you get billions of dollars a year to put out these little lens flare photos of, look at the dark hole. It's like an orange smear on Photoshop for 5 seconds. Wow, I'm really a believer now. But anyway, you get billions of dollars a year. You can't make a spacesuit. You're like, we don't have spacesuits. So you're telling me NASA decided that we're going to send women to the moon with billions of dollars and then didn't realize that they didn't have a suit to fit the woman? Make the damn suit, NASA. That's your job. I'm like, hey, I'm the clothing designer for the WNBA. And then 3 weeks later, I'm like, breaking sexism. I don't have clothes that fit Lisa Leslie. Make the fucking clothes, bro. Make them. That's your job. You didn't have a spacesuit to fit Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin, so you made it. You created it, and then it fit them. It's so obviously fake. It's actually mind-boggling. People are like, can you believe that they don't have spacesuits to fit the all-woman cast that they're not going to even send to the moon? It's like Israel tried to go to the moon recently. They're like, we didn't make it. We couldn't get there. It's like, I'm not surprised. Anyway, ridiculous. Let's get back to Shil Nye, the Democratic Party spy guy. We're going to baby it for these guys. So let's go to the planet. You have us. You have the ocean. You have all these little losers, including myself, running around, feed me, I need this, I need that, I'm sad, I'm happy. We're all a bunch of losers. We're all running around the planet. Yes, we're polluting the oceans. Yes, Lil Dicky, you're totally right. And I'm not being sarcastic. You are right about that. We're polluting the air. Los Angeles, liberal capital, should have the cleanest air. Doesn't, because they're all hypocrites who can't figure out how to clean the air or don't care. Or it's getting better. It's fine. Anyway, all of us, yes, we have an impact. Yes, we're polluting the oceans. It's awful. Yes, we should chill out with the plastic. Yes, we're doing that. Yes, we're polluting the air. Yes. Yes, we have an effect. Yes, possibly we could shift the weather in a small fraction. Yes. But here's what doesn't matter. There's a sun, Lil Dicky. Come on, you're smart. You get it. Bill Nye, I know you're smart. I know you're not a real scientist, but you're kind of one. We're all scientists in our way. But there's a heated ball or little disc, whatever the heck it is, shining light on our planet that literally burns our skin. So at one point, the sun could just go, fuck it, and just kill everyone instantly. That's why I respect the Native Americans and I respect cultures that appreciate the sun, pray to the sun, because they were actually smarter. They were like, listen, we don't control the planet, we believe in God or gods. And they got that, and they'd pray to the sun god because they knew that it could burn them or freeze them at any moment. We don't control the climate, Lil Dicky. The sun is the main factor. It's your daddy. It's like you're an ant and you're like, we do everything. And at any point I could just be like, everything's gone. Your whole reality shattered. Not by Neil deGrasse Tyson, not even by India or China, by the sun. No scientist ever talks about the sun. They don't talk. The sun heats up the planet. The sun will cool the planet. The sun will create an ice age. The sun will create global warming. Volcanoes will kill you faster than anything. These are all real. So even if you're going to say all this stuff, you have to say, this could happen, but also we're not really in that much control. They don't do that because they're liars. All right. Another part of it that I enjoyed was he said at one point, or the baboons or raccoons, like literally, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably just laughing. But the video's Lil Dicky, and it goes to it's like a Madagascar style, like 4-dimensional Pixar thing, and it's all celebrities as animals. They're like, climate change, we're all gonna die. And it's like a little funny song. That's what it is. So that one part they say, we love you, India. We love you, Africa. We love you, China. We forgive you, Germany. I thought that was pretty funny. Lil Dicky said that, of course. But I thought it was funny because, how about America? I had a show last night. 2 of the bands shouted out the U.S. and the military, which I thought was cool. But why not love your own damn country? These people never love their country. It's so woke and so, wear an Indian garb. Like, Justin Trudeau and go to India. They're all in suits, and they're like, we don't dress like that. Love your own damn country. You could love India. You could love China. You could love Africa. But when's the last time they've been like, we love our own country? They're always, pandering to other countries. It's fine. He said, we forgive you, Germany. I get it. It was a Holocaust joke. It was funny. But at the same time, it's like, why do they never talk about communism? It's fine. We could talk about the Holocaust. We could talk about Germany. I'm not above it. But it's like they focus on this little thing there. And they always say, this was the worst thing in history ever happened. Communism killed even more people. The Armenian genocide slaughtered Christians. Throughout history, there have been genocide after genocide after genocide. Why do we only focus on that one? And to be quite honest, why do we only talk about one side? I'm not saying it's two-sided, like, oh my God, they're so great, but I'll give you an example before people try to frame me out of context. In America, if America gets invaded or taken over by extreme racists and sexists and xenophobes and people who persecute whites or Christians, and they do a Holocaust to people who look like me, I'm not going to play a victim card for 800 years. I'm just going to be quite honest. It's our own damn fault, guys. Not trying to be mean or controversial, but if America gets subverted and taken over and destroyed and ruined, it's not the Jews' fault, it's not the Christians' fault, it's not the blacks' fault or the whites' fault or the Asians' fault. It's America's fault for letting it happen. If another group comes over and does it, it's our fault for allowing that to happen. But throughout history, certain groups have victim cards and they play them for 10,000 years. Meanwhile, they keep making the same mistakes and acting like they're just innocent victims. Guys, communism was a real thing. It was awful. And they never talk about it. It's because they want to do it again. They want to repeat that exact thing. They talk about the Holocaust, which is fine, but talk about, it's not just to be quite honest, it's not like Hitler just woke up and was like, I'm going to kill a bunch of people and nothing. There's poverty, there's this country doing this, there's this country doing this. It's a huge puzzle. And I'm not saying this to be cold or mean or act like it didn't happen. I'm saying this to be, if you don't want bad things to happen again, you have to understand, why did he do it? Why were they poor? Why were they desperate? Why were they at war? Why was he doing that? Why was he doing this? It's not just like, bad, I'm victim forever, nothing is ever my responsibility. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So the reason I'm saying this with this is, not only does it have climate change propaganda, it also just has like, we love India, we love China. First of all, two of the biggest polluters. If you love them so much, go to India, go to China, and tell them to stop polluting so much, because if you want to stop climate change and pollution, those are your first two stops. We love Africa. Of course, you love everywhere, that's great, except for the United States. And then they bring up Germany. I'm not saying I don't want to talk about it. I'm just saying that's all they ever talk about. It's like Holocaust, Holocaust, Germany, 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 Germany. Talk about communism. It killed more people. It's a crazy, evil ideology that is still here to this day, way more widespread and rampant than Nazism is. And also, I'm just saying, to be honest, as a friend to everybody, a victim card puts you in a mentality that nothing is your fault. You can knock down speech laws, everything is against you, and it's actually a very toxic mental mindset to have. And I know he was joking, I just wanted to talk about this. And also, it dooms you to repeat history. I want to reference two people very different, and I know this is controversial, I just don't care though. Louis Farrakhan and Kanye West. I understand, very, very different people. Kanye, entertainer, likes Trump, it's not really political. Louis Farrakhan, Muslim, Nation of Islam, big black leader of sorts. They both agree on something where they explain slavery is a choice. That's what Kanye West said. Everyone freaked out, and he didn't get to explain himself, or they didn't listen. But he's not saying, oh, it's good, it happened. But what he was saying is, he was explaining, like, I would have been the Nat Turner. Like, why did it happen so long? If I was there, I would have ended it. I would have been the one that's like, we're not going to be enslaved anymore. I'm not going to let my people be enslaved. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a victim mentality. So he's like, he's not saying, oh, it's a choice. Like, oh, I wanted to do it. But as a collective, you made choices. They made choices. You allowed somebody else to attack you, or you put your defenses down, or something happened. And it happened via that. You didn't have the technology. You didn't have the resources, whatever it is. You got to focus on that. And what Louis Farrakhan said, which I agree with, I don't really care if people get mad at that, he agrees with Kanye, and he said that happened, and he thinks it's God's plan. I don't know about that. But the point I'm getting to is, if you want to stop your people, whoever you think your people are, to not get enslaved, or to not have a Holocaust happen, or to not let communism influence, or like stuff even in the United States, it's not by acting like a victim and blaming everyone else. You have to assess the situation and be like, all right, how do we not happen? And the reason I say this with this is because they always talk about all these stuff. They never talk about communism. They never talk about the Armenian genocide. And also, for every group of people, every religion, race, gender, whatever, if you don't want to be persecuted, don't let it happen. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like annoying that no one ever says that. I'm like, I don't want Nazism to happen. I don't want communism to happen. I don't want genocide to happen. I don't want persecution to happen to any group. So instead of making the same mistakes and being like, everyone hates me, it's like, that's going to get you killed, or that's going to get another genocide in this country happening to me or to someone else. It's not going to, and I'll be like, oh yeah, like they took over and I'm going to be like, no, the reason it happened is because 30 years of bad education, 30 years of mass media lies, we allowed it to happen. They took this from the schools. Parents were separating. Bad policies. You know, this, like, I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not just going to be like, my people are innocent, everyone else guilty. I'm going to be like, no, my country dropped the ball for 50 years, allowed it to happen, then we got screwed. These are the tough conversations people don't want to have, and I have them because I actually want to help people. Playing the victim and not having an honest scope on history dooms you to repeat the same mistakes as always. And that's why in history, if you notice, we're on loop. We just keep making the same mistakes. It's like, shh, shh, shh. And I don't want anyone to get hurt. So it's like, guys, you can't just blame everybody and then act like it's going to happen. It's not going to happen again because communism's rising up and they never talk about it. Anyway, we'll get back to it. But I just thought it was interesting. He said, I love you, India, China, Africa. We forgive you, Germany. India and China, of course, biggest polluters. America not on that list. Not surprised. He also said at one part, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Justin Bieber was in it as some animal. He was like, "Are we gonna die?" And then I guess Lil Dicky responded with like, "We might die because global warming's real." He said Leonardo DiCaprio knows the most about this, and he should be our leader. And that scientists are saying we're gonna die in 12 years. Overall, it was funny, but there's so much. I already went through it. I don't need to say it more. There's been decades of false predictions. There's been decades of false science. There's been manipulated science. There's been government paid science to make the percentage of scientists look extraordinary. Science is not a consensus. If 100 people say you can't build a plane and then I build a plane, the science isn't that 100 people thought I couldn't do it. The science isn't a consensus. If a volcano explodes, it doesn't matter if every scientist on the planet is bamboozled and didn't know it was going to happen. Science doesn't care about your little studies. I mean, if there's for sure proof of something and you can prove it, but with climate change, it's so not provable and it's so laughable as far as even when you take the top climate scientists such as NASA and others and you read what they're saying and you read between the lines, they admit a lot of snow's falling. We only measure the coastlines. We have no idea what's going on. And in certain places like Greenland, it's actually getting thicker. And then they try to say, no. We thought the glacier was going to melt by now, but it's actually getting thicker. We don't know why, but it's still bad. It's all ridiculous lies. So I hope a lot of kids don't buy into this. I will say environmentalism is very real. If you want to do stuff, clean the oceans. They're disgusting. We're absolutely polluting them with plastic. We should stop using plastic. I agree. We should use better sources. I think we could do a better job with our air pollution. I think we could do a better job cleaning the streets. First place I could think of is Los Angeles, where all of these celebrities live. Your city is disgusting. Maybe not in the hills, but go down to pretty much any part of the city besides Beverly Hills. It's all getting trashed, guys. Graffiti, trash everywhere, homeless tents popping up. No one's doing anything about it. So if you really want to clean the planet, clean your city, clean your state, clean your country, and then clean the oceans, please. I agree with that, and I'm down to work with people who do that. So yes, environmentalism is a real thing, but climate change is, in my personal perspective, after a couple years of research and after believing it for 5 years of my life, I do believe it's one of the biggest propaganda scams to stop people from realizing that our health industry is corrupt, our pharmacy industry is corrupt, our government's trying to micromanage everything and force things on you like vaccines, which even if you agree with them, I'm not saying I'm not anti-vaxxer, but I don't believe that the government should mandatorily be able to pump 15 medications in you. That's insane, and stuff like that. I also think that, they don't talk about water, cleaning the water, making sure we all have crystal clear, pure, clean water would be nice, stuff like that. Opioid problems. There's a lot of health and environmental issues, and almost none of them have to do with Leonardo DiCaprio and Al Gore lying and saying the ice caps are melting, when in fact many of them are growing and shifting and changing just like the Earth has always done, because it's a orb or a dome. Whatever you guys think, let me know in the comments. Leave it up for grabs. Slightly joking, but also with all the lies, it's like they're confusing me. I'm like, guys, you haven't been to the moon in 55 years because the technology's worse? Anyway, all jokes aside, let me know what you guys think, and please, let's have a discussion about this. That's another thing they say, no, the science is settled. Is there any discussion in the world where I'm like, hey guys, first of all of their science, I've already told you, it doesn't even add up, but it's like, I'm like, hey, can I question it? They're like, no. Not only is nothing we're saying adding up, our predictions have been wrong for 30 years, and even our top scientists admit that certain things are growing. You're not allowed to talk about it because it's a closed discussion. The science is settled. Such a lie. Sorry, Lil Dicky. I love you, brother, and a lot of celebrities in there. You guys are cool, but please get a grip. You're lying about climate change. You're not helping your own city, which is getting disgusting. You're not helping the country. You're not helping the planet. You're not cleaning the oceans. You're not cleaning the air. You're not cleaning the water. You're pretty much not doing anything. Homelessness is getting bigger. Tents are everywhere. Your state is the most impoverished state in the entire country, even though you take the most taxes from working class citizens and tax small businesses more than anyone. So get a grip. This is why Trump won. He's going to win in 2020. You guys are delusional. Television is awful. I watched it at my hotel, and it's like so disgusting. The reality shows and even ESPN, it's like, I'm unathletic and 65 years old, and I'm going to gossip about what Russell Westbrook wore. It's like, do you guys even cover sports anymore? TV's awful. Trump's going to win. This is why no one likes you. This is why no one believes you. I'm all for science. I'm all for liberalism. Just stop lying and stop just putting your head so far up your other friend's butt that you can't see out. You're like, why did Trump win? It's because your anus, your head is in your friend's anus. So when you look around, you're actually seeing his small intestines instead of the country, which is similar to the intestine. They're both red. You look at the whole map. It's because no one likes you or believes you because you guys are so full of shit, making tens of millions of dollars to make fake propaganda songs that don't add up to reality, and working class people just keep getting robbed. God bless you guys. God bless America. God bless your family, and God bless the world. Like I said, San Diego House of Blues on Sunday. I'm going to be doing one song. I'm one and done. If you want to go, that's cool. If not, it's all good. I'm going to take footage of it. If not, check out on YouTube as well. Thank you to everyone supporting me. I just want to say real quick, my supporter thing, if you want to be a Facebook supporter, we're starting to roll into it. I did a live stream. I deleted it because I felt like it could have been better. So we'll do another one soon. There's going to be secret posts on there. If you want to be a supporter and get the supporter badge, you can do that. If not, donor box, Patreon, PayPal until they kick me off. I appreciate you guys supporting. I just want to say too, I'm 100% funded by the people. There's no corporation. Even that show I did, the PAC show at the House of Blues, I have no manager, no label, no agent, no anything. It's all me editing, filming, doing music shows, all this stuff. So your support has meant the world to me. And sometimes people ask me, they're like, Anomaly, like, what's up with that? I'm like, guys, you realize my competition makes $10 million a year. They're like, don't you? I'm like, it's like crowdfunding. It's dope. Like sometimes people are like, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, guys, they don't allow people like me to make television. They don't allow people like me to make money. If I lied, I would already have a record deal. They literally were like, talk about women and drugs. And I was like, no, I'm going to talk about like George Bush and Al-Qaeda. They were like, whoa, like that's not going to fly here. So I'd already blacklisted myself. I'm happy doing so. I'm just saying that if I was a liar, I'd already have millions of dollars, but I'm not. So your support really helps. And also, it's also partially my fault. I got to be a little bit more crafty and figure out how to monetize more, start selling shirts and do some other stuff. So I'll get on it. I just always focus on the content first, and I even got a little burnout recently from just too much videos. But before I figure out even money, like, yeah, it would be great, and I probably should strike while the iron's hot and save up so I'm not poor when I'm older. But what really matters is just I like to be productive, so I don't like to slow down. So I'm just flying out videos. Point being, I appreciate your support. And if you don't, sometimes people are like, Anomaly, I don't have money. Like, that's fine. I'm not going to be like a preacher. I'm like, if you only got $10, give me 9. If you got $8, give me 7. No, I'm just playing. Like, if it's even tight, take that money, go on vacation or something. I'm fine. I promise you. God bless you guys. I'll be out. Be back soon.